Chances are, if you ever got one of the original 2001 Toa, you probably recognize one of these. This is a Toa Suva, and it was used as the lids for the original 2001 Bionicles. However, it had spots for 6 heads to put one of each of the original Toa masks, or one of each of the original Turaga masks, or one of each of all the Toa Nuva masks. So why is this important? Well, not only is it great for displaying your masks, but it's good to compare them because we can see which would be the best mask to actually use in battle. The original Bionicle series, the Toa and the Toa Nuva, was basically kind of designed as a fighting game. You would have the characters punch and strike each other to try to knock off each other's masks. And that was really cool. And it was really quickly that they abandoned this when we saw the inception of the mask with those crossbars. It was really difficult to knock masks off, sometimes even impossible in the case of the Toa Wardika or the Toa Inika. It's because of this that the miniature game of knocking off masks was lost. But I'm here to have a theory of which mask would be the best if you actually had to fight with if all of the masks through all of Bionicle's history were just like this. They could easily be knocked off with a simple strike. For all 3 sets of these masks, I'm going to start off with fire and go around in the circle, just that way I don't lose track. The fire mask, or the mask of shielding, is very shield-like, and it has curved edges, which meant that if you struck it from the sides, your blade or claw or hook or whatever would just kind of glance off to the side. It was only by striking it in the forehead region or in the mouth you could easily knock it off. Same thing kind of goes with the Mask of Air or the Mask of Levitation. It was very curved. It has a lot of smooth edges. In fact, the only real weak spot would be, again, up near the nose or beak section, because it stood out more and thus had more leverage. The Kakama, the Mask of Speed, now known as the Mask of Stone, had a similar feature, however had these wide edges on the side and was a little bit lower. It was smoother in the front and had this kind of front demarcation, I guess you call it, which meant it was probably a bigger target. Because it was flatter, blades and weapons couldn't easily glance off, and that meant it was easier to strike and do more damage to it. Same kind of goes for the Mask of Water. If hit from maybe the sides or from the top, weapons could glance off. However, it has this big brim in the front, which is basically an open target. Next, you have the Mask of Strength, or the mask now known as the Mask of Earth. This mask is basically one giant tortoise shell, as you can see from the curve here. Just one giant turtle shell, and probably offers the best defenses next to the Mask of Levitation due to its curved shape. Finally, probably the worst mask is the Mask of X-ray Vision, which just has this giant goggle piece poking out. And, well, that's basically like a hit me sign. So I'd probably say this is the worst mask, the Mask of X-ray Vision. Meanwhile, either the Mask of Strength or probably the Mask of Levitation would probably be the best at deflecting blows. So, of the Toamata, those 2 would probably be the best if you were using them in a combat arena style. We start off the Turaga masks with Vakama's Mask of Invisibility, and strangely enough, it's not really that great of a mask. It looks cool with this cool elephant trunk-like thing in the front, but it has very large eye holes, and it has this big gaping hole in the top, which you could hook onto easily with Anua's claws, Galley's hooks, or with Liwa's axe, meaning it could be easily pulled off from the top, and because of this part sticking down, it could be hooked from the bottom. Now, I know you'll probably say, well, why isn't Liwa's thing also pose a risk? And that's because his open ports near his mouth were near the mouth. They didn't pose as much of a threat because there wasn't as much leverage. However, this piece sticks up and could be easily just go bonk with almost no effort at all. It's making it probably a bad target and bad to hit a choice if you want to choose it for battle. Next up is the Mask of Illusion. The Mask of Illusion has a very curved sides. However, it has very curved sides, and it'd be great for hitting along the sides and the top. However, it has a very flat front, meaning it could be a bigger target. Same thing goes with the Mask of the Mask of Mind Control, except it has these 2 holes up near the top. Same issue with the Mask of Illusion, allowing it to be kind of pulled off better. Similar to the Mask of Strength, the Mask of Translation is basically like a tortoiseshell, and while it's wide and kind of flat in the front, it's basically an egg. It's very well rounded, and thus it'd be very good at glancing off blows. Another mask that suffers the same flaws as the Mask of Illusion and the Mask of Mind Control is the Mask of Night Vision, having a huge window in front to grab onto. However, the rest of its shape is fairly rounded, so it could deflect blows fairly easily from the sides. Last is the Mask of Telekinesis. The Mask of Telekinesis is the largest of the 6 masks and is, well, squarish. The only real rounded side of it is the top, which sticks up quite a bit, meaning you could reach over it and pull off, and the sides are fairly flat, so you're not likely to have things go sliding off. It's just more like it'll strike. So probably not a very good choice for battle either. If I had to pick one to use in battle, just as a mask, I would probably pick the Mask of Translation, probably followed by the Mask of Illusion due to their shapes. However, if I had to pick one as the worst, I'd probably pick, well, Mask of Telekinesis is bad, but not nearly as bad as the giant windows on the Mask of Illusion, the Mask of Invisibility, the Mask of Mind Control, or the Mask of Night Vision, which are basically kind of giant, like, strike right here signs. Last of the masks that came in the standard peg mouth system was the Toa Nuva masks. In fact, this was almost replaced immediately afterwards with the Mask of Light and the Mask of Shadows in 2002/2003 being the crossbar that would continue on for the rest of the series. However, the Toa Nuva masks, similar to the Toa Nika masks, had organic designs and, well, were very original. In fact, it's very difficult to even guess what powers they might have just because of their unusual shape. The Mask of Shielding has a very wide mouth and kind of these puffy cheeks, and, well, it has kind of these weird ridges up near the forehead, making it, in my opinion, poor for battle. In fact, I would never want to use this in battle. It looks like you just had mouth surgery. Next up, unfortunately, it's not official, it's actually red on the inside, and I repainted it, is my Mask of Levitation. Mask of Levitation, while it does have these spikes, which could be gripped from the sides and pulled off, is very, very sharp on the edges, allowing weapons such as weapons and claws and such to slide off, and is actually not a bad mask to have if you had to wear it in battle. Next up is the Mask of Speed, which suffers a similar issue on the bottom half as the Mask of Shielding with its wide cheeks, however, has the side blades that the Mask of Levitation has, meaning if you struck from the top, you would have an advantage, but a strike from the side or from the bottom would probably not help you. The Mask of Water Breathing has a similar issue, in my opinion, to the original Mask of Shielding. As you can see, they're, kind of a similar dome shape. However, it has these little ridges on the side, which I guess could be beneficial. However, the slightly puffier cheeks and the very flat front can, in my opinion, be a downside. The Mask of Strength, while looking very, very cool, suffers, in my opinion, the same issues as the Mask of Strength, as the Mask of Shielding. While it does look very cool and organic, it suffers from the fact that it's just weird. It has a very weird shape that doesn't really benefit in battle. And similar to the original Mask of X-Ray Vision, you have the same issue with the new Mask of X-Ray Vision. However, the lens, while being roughly the same size, is only one tube instead of 3 of varying lengths. And the actual face of the mask is not flat, it's more rounded, meaning this is actually better in battle than its previous form. If I had to pick from these 6, I'd probably say that either the Mask of Speed or the Mask of Levitation would probably give you the best advantage because of its angles. However, the Mask of Water Breathing and, surprisingly enough, the Mask of X-Ray Vision would not be bad either. For the worst, I'd of course say the Mask of Strength and the Mask of Shielding. Oh, one more mask. The Mask of Time. Probably a bad color pick because it's a gold mask on a bronze Obsuva, but as you can see, the Mask of Time doesn't even cover the entire face. This means it has smaller surface area, which does lend to it being a smaller target. However, it has these wide wings on the side, meaning a strike from the sides could easily knock it off. However, a strike from the top would basically have no effect because there is no top of the mask. So if I had to pick one, I'd say the Mask of Time is probably the best, probably followed by the original Mask of Strength, the Mask of Translation, and probably the other Mask of Water Breathing. Bionicle has a rich history with hundreds of masks, some that don't even really have official names or official powers, and it's up to us to decide what they can do in canon or in fanon. However, the masks we do have come in a variety of shapes, colors, and powers, and it's really cool to look back over the decades and see back from 2001 all the way now to 2015 how they've changed and evolved and grown as we have as fans. I'm Metagross Freak, and I hope this has been a good look not only at the history of Bionicle's masks, but maybe if you really want to have one of those old-fashioned mask battles, what would be the best strategically for you. Thank you.